Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be making this cut off sweater pattern. This is such an easy and beginner friendly pattern, but I'll be making a small in this video, but you can find sizes X small to 3X large instructions in the written pattern over at my Etsy shop that I've linked down below. So here are the supplies you'll be needing. So to get started on this pattern, I'm going to quickly go ahead and make a slip knot. And you can just do that any way you would like. And then now we're going to make a chain of 60. So to do that, you just want to yarn over and pull through. Again, just yarning over and pulling through. So I have just finished up working this chain of 60. Now skipping this first chain from my hook and inserting my hook into the second chain over here, we're going to be working a single crochet. So to do that, I'm just going to insert my hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Now I'll chain 1, skip the next chain, and then single crochet again, oops, pull through 2, chain 1, skip a chain, single crochet, chain 1, skip a chain, and then single crochet. And then repeating this pattern going all the way across your row, just single crochet, skip, and then single crochet, just like this. So I have just finished up working that row. As you can see, looks really good so far. And then once I reach the end, I'm just going to chain 1 and then turn my work. And that chain 1 does not count as a stitch. So skipping this first chain and inserting my hook into this first stitch, we're going to work a single crochet. And then now I'm going to chain 1, skip a stitch, single crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, single crochet in the next, and then working this pattern all the way along our row here, just chain 1, skip, and then single crochet. So I am back here with that second row. As you can see, it looks really good. And then now to continue this pattern here, you want to repeat this row, which is row 2, until you have a total of 24 rows. But I'm just going to start you off on the next row just to kind of show you what I mean. So just once you get to the end here, chain 1, turn your work, and again that chain 1 does not count as a stitch. Skipping this first chain, inserting my hook into that first stitch, I'm going to single crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, and then of course single crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, and then single crochet. And that's how you're going to work all the way down your row. And then once you get to the end, chain and then turn your work. But I'm just going to continue on repeating row 2 until I have a total of 24 rows. So I'll meet you back when I'm all done. Alrighty guys, so I am back here with my 24 rows, as you can see. And then once this is all done, we're going to begin on making our shoulder straps over here. So do not cut and tie off. We're actually going to be continuing from this point. So let's just get started on this side. So to get started on our shoulder strap over here, I already chained and then turned my work. Then I'll be getting into this first stitch. We're just going to single crochet, chain, skip a stitch, and then single crochet. And we're going to work our normal stitch pattern until we have worked into 19 stitches across. So you shouldn't have worked all the way across the row, only into 19 stitches. And so I just finished up working into 19 stitches across here. And then now into the 20th and 21st stitch, we're going to be working a decrease. So to work a decrease, I'm going to insert my hook into that 20th stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then into that 21st stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3. And that's how we're going to be working our decreases. So now I'm going to chain 1, turn my work around, and then beginning into this first stitch, so skipping this first chain, we're going to be working another decrease. So I'm going to insert my hook, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3. So I just worked a decrease into that first stitch. Then now I'm just going to chain 1, skip a stitch, single crochet, and then just working your normal stitch pattern all the way across your row just as you normally would. And so I just made it to the end here. Just to review, we did a decrease into this first stitch and then we worked all the way across our row. And then once we reach the end, I'm just going to chain 1, turn my work around. Then now beginning into this first stitch, we're just going to work a single crochet, chain 1, skip, single crochet, and then we're going to repeat our normal stitch pattern until we have 2 stitches from the end unworked, because we're going to work another decrease into those 2 stitches. And so I am back here. I just worked all the way across my row and I have these 2 stitches from the end unworked. And just like last time, I'm going to work a decrease. So just pull up a loop into that last stitch, pull up a loop, and then pull through all 3. So now you want to repeat row 2 and row 3 until you have a total of 10 rows for your little side strap here. So basically you should be working a decrease into the first stitch of the next row, and then for the next row you should be working a decrease into the last 2 stitches. So I'm just going to go ahead and work up these 10 rows, then I'll meet you back when I'm all done. Alright guys, so I am back here with my work. I just finished up working those 10 rows as you can see, and then once I reached the end here I just cut and tied off, really simple. And then now we're going to get started on the other side right over here. So what I did here is that I skipped 17 stitches from this first work stitched over here, and then I went ahead and inserted my hook into the 18th stitch. So you should have 17 stitches completely unworked in the middle here. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started on this section with you guys. So I am back here. If you can remember, I just skipped 17 stitches and then I inserted my hook into that 18th stitch. I slip stitched to secure and then I chained 1 to begin our next row. And so beginning into this first stitch, I'm just going to single crochet, just like that, chain 1, skip, single crochet, And I'm just going to be working our regular stitch pattern all the way across this row to begin. And then once I reach the end of this row here, I'm just going to chain one, turn my work, and then now beginning into this first stitch, we're going to be working our regular stitch pattern all the way down our row until we have 2 stitches unworked. So I'm just going to single crochet into that first stitch, chain one, skip, and then single crochet, just like that. And so now you can see I worked all the way across my row until I have these 2 stitches remaining. And I'm just going to insert my hook into the second to last stitch, just like that, and then insert my hook into that last stitch, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3. So we just worked a decrease there. I'm going to chain one, turn my work around, then beginning into this first stitch, I'm going to work another decrease. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 3, chain one, skip a stitch, single crochet, chain one, skip a stitch, and then single crochet, and then just working this regular stitch pattern all the way down your row. And so I just made it to the end here. We did a decrease into that first stitch, and then I made it all the way down here. Then now to continue your pattern, you want to repeat row 2 and row 3 until you have a total of 9 rows. So you should be working a decrease into the first stitch, and then for the next row into the last stitch. And then yeah, I'm going to work off those 9 rows, then I'll meet you back when I'm all done. Alrighty guys, so I am back here with my work. I just finished up working the second shoulder strap, and this is what my 9 rows are looking like. It looks so good so far. I cut and tied off once I reached the end, and then now you want to repeat this entire process one more time for a second panel. And over here, I've already completed that second panel, as you can see. And then once you have both bodices, we're going to begin the seaming process. So to seam, you can use slip stitches or single crochets. But basically, right here, we're going to, beginning into this corner, right here, we're going to seam across the shoulder strap. And then again, starting into this corner, seaming across the shoulder strap right over here. And that is all you need to do for your seaming. You want to cut and tie off on both ends and then turn your work inside out once you're all done. But I'm going to work these 2 seaming sections up, then I'll meet you back when I'm all done. Okay guys, so I am back here with my work all seamed up, as you can see. And then once that is all done, we're going to move to the side and get started on the sleeves. So let's just get started on that. So now we're going to go ahead and get started on the sleeves here. So I'm just going to quickly go ahead and make a slip knot. Just like that. And to begin this, we're going to make a chain of 78. So I just finished up my chain of 78, and then now I'm just going to run my thumb down the chain, making sure that it is not twisted at all. I just made it to the end. Then I'm just going to slip stitch into that first chain. So just yarning over, pulling through. Then now you can see we made this really big loop. So now from this point, I'm going to chain one, turn my work around. Then now beginning into this first stitch, I'm going to work a single crochet. So right into that first stitch, or into that first chain. Then I'm just going to work single crochets into each of these chains all the way around. Alright guys, so I am back here with my row of single crochets. As you can see, it looks really good so far. And then now once I reach the end, I'm just going to slip stitch into that first stitch to join. And we're going to do that for each row. So now I'm going to chain one, turn my work, and then skipping this first chain and inserting my hook into this first stitch here, I'm just going to work a single crochet. Then chain one, skip a stitch, single crochet, chain one, skip a stitch, single crochet, and then just working this regular stitch pattern all the way around here until we just have one stitch remaining at the end. Alright guys, so I just finished up working that pattern all the way around my row here, as you can see. And then I have this one stitch remaining. So into this last stitch, I'm just going to chain one. So we're going to break our pattern right there. And then we're just going to slip stitch into that first stitch to join. Just like that. So now you can just chain one and then turn your work. So now you want to repeat that row, which is row 2, until you have a total of 70 rows. So I'm just going to start you off here really quickly. So skipping this first chain, I'm going to work a single crochet into that first stitch, chain one, skip a stitch, single crochet, chain one, skip a stitch, and then single crochet, and then working that all the way across until you have one stitch remaining, chain one, and then slip stitch into that first stitch. So again, I'm just going to work this up until I have 70 rows, then I'll meet you back when I'm all done. Alright guys, so I am back here with my work. I just finished up working all of my 70 rows. And then now that's all done, we're going to go ahead and get started on the cuff over here. So let's just get started on that. So to get started on the cuff here, as you can see, I already joined and then chained one. And then we're going to be working decreases all the way around. So to work a decrease, beginning into this first stitch, we do insert my hook, pull up a loop, into this next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3. And then you just want to work decreases into each stitch all the way around. So just into that next stitch, pulling up a loop, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 3. Pull up a loop, pull up a loop, pull through 3, and then I'm just going to continue on working this all the way around here. Alrighty guys, so I just finished up working all the way around my row here with those decreases. Then of course I just slip stitch into that first stitch to join. And then now to kind of begin on the cuff here, we're going to make a chain of 11. And so I just finished up my chain of 11 here. Then now skipping this first chain and inserting my hook into the second chain, I'm just going to be working these single crochets all the way down this chain. So I just finished up working those single crochets all the way down my chain, and then now on the side here we're going to slip stitch up 3 to join this row. So here's 1, and then 2, and then 3. Then as you can see, we have kind of joined that row to the side here. Now I'm just going to turn my work around, and then beginning into this 4th stitch, so skipping these first 3 stitches here and inserting my hook into that 4th stitch, we're going to be working back bar or back loop single crochets. So to do that, I'm just going to insert my hook into that back bar only, pull through 2, just like that. And then working these back bar single crochets all the way down my row here, just like this. And so I've just finished up working those back bar single crochets. Once I reach the end, I'm just going to chain 1, turn my work around, and then now skipping this first chain and inserting my hook into this first stitch, I'm going to be working back bar single crochets all the way back down my row here. And so I've just finished up working those back bar single crochets. Just like last time, we're going to slip stitch up 3 on the side to join this row. That's 1, 2, and then 3. And then turn our work around. So to continue this pattern, you want to repeat row 2 and row 3, those last 2 rows, into each stitch all the way around here. But I'm just going to work 2 more rows with you guys just to kind of show you what I mean. So I just turned my work, skipping 3 stitches and inserting my hook into that 4th stitch. I'm just going to work these back bar single crochets into each stitch all the way down here. And then once I reach the end of that row, I'm just going to chain 1, turn my work around, and then beginning into this first stitch, skipping that first chain, I'm just going to be working these back bar single crochets all the way down my row here again. And then once I get to the end of this row, just like last time, you just want to slip stitch up 3 on the side here. Just like this. So again, repeat row 2 and row 3 until you've worked into each stitch all the way around here to form the cuff. So I'm going to go off camera, work that up, then I'll meet you back when I'm all done. Alrighty guys, so I am back here with my cuff. As you can see, it looks really nice so far. And then now, as you can see, we just need to seam up these 2 ends. And what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to turn my sleeve inside out, and then I'm just going to seam these 2 ends together using slip stitches or single crochets just down these edges. So I'm going to work that really quickly off camera, then I'll meet you back with my finished sleeve. Alrighty guys, so I am back here with my cuff all finished, all seamed up, and now this is what our entire sleeve is looking like. So once you have completed this, I just cut and tied off, and then you want to go ahead and do this a second time, which I have already completed right over here. I made a second sleeve, and then I'm just going to set both of these sleeves aside, and we're just going to get started on the collar. So let's just work on that. So now we're just going to go ahead and get started on the collar, which is really easy to do. I'm just going to make a slip knot really quickly. And then now we're going to make a chain of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then just skipping this first chain, inserting my hook into that second chain, I'm just going to be working single crochets into each chain across. Just like this. I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and then beginning into this first stitch, skipping this first chain, I'm just going to be working back bar single crochets into each stitch. Just like that. And then so now you just want to repeat this row, which is row 2, until your little collar is going to be 17 inches long. But I'm just going to work this row with you again. So I'm just going to chain 1, turn my work into this first stitch, working back bar single crochets into each stitch across, just like this. Chain 1, turn, again beginning into this first stitch, just working back bar single crochets all the way across, and you just want to repeat this row until your collar is 17 inches long. So I'm going to continue working on this, then I'll meet you back when I'm all done. Alrighty guys, so I am back here with my work. My collar is 17 inches long, and I ended up doing a total of 70 rows. So now once this is all complete, we're going to get started on attaching this to our work. So let's just get started on that. Okay guys, so I am here with my collar. I just laid it all the way across our little head hole here, and I used 4 stitch markers. I put 2 stitch markers right into these 2 little corners here. Then I also did the same in the back. I put a stitch marker right into the corner and then all the way over here as well. This is going to make the seaming process a lot easier for us. But now we're just going to begin on the seaming. So over here I have a tapestry needle, and I've woven some yarn through it. I might have 3 feet of yarn here. And then now to begin, I'm just going to invert our little 2 edges here. And then now I'm just going to insert my hook right into the corner. I'm going to weave all the way through here. And I'm not going to worry about knotting it, I'm just going to do that later. I'm just going to come back to the other end and then weave it through just like this, and then working this all the way down our little edge here. So just coming back around just like that. And so now I have seamed this little edge together. We're going to seam this to like the edge of our work here. So I'm going to put my little needle in here and then just attach it to my back panel. Just like this. And then now you want to work all the way around your edge here, just doing this normal seaming pattern. So I'm just going to come right back through the other end and then pull through. And then coming here again, pulling through, and then just working this all the way around your work, making sure you're just seaming this evenly all the way around, because you don't want it to bunch up anywhere. That's what the stitch markers are there to help you with. Alrighty guys, so I am back here with my work. I just finished up seaming up my collar here, so it looks really good. And then I just cut and tied it off once I reached the end. And then now once our collar is all done, we're just going to begin on seaming up the sleeves, which is really easy. I have over here my sleeve, and all I'm going to do is that I'm going to turn my work inside out. I'm going to place the sleeve like this, and then I'm just going to seam these two edges together, again using slip stitches or single crochets, making sure to join these two ends as well. So I think that's pretty self-explanatory. I'm just going to finish seaming up the sleeve, then I'll meet you back when I am all done. Okay guys, so I am back here with my work all seamed up. I seamed both sleeves on either side, as you can see, and now this is what our finished work is looking like. So just to finish up this project, you just want to use a tapestry needle to weave in all of these loose ends. But once you have done that, weaved in all of your ends, then that is the end of your project. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this pattern and found it helpful, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel for more content. If you bought this pattern, leaving a positive review would be super helpful. But yeah, see you guys next time. Bye!